Hello everyone, my name is John Sierra and I am a Tolkien scholar, and we're going to continue the playthrough of the video game J.R.R. Tolkien's The Lord of the Rings Volume 1 for the Super NES, and yeah, it's my second time attempting to, as an adult at least, play through the entire things. We have gotten through the Barrow Downs and have just arrived in the town of Bree. So let's come over here and get the game up. And we haven't gotten into Bree. We just stopped at the gate. So it won't take very much to get in there, since we do have the key to Bree, which I believe last time I played through this on Twitch, I had forgotten to get the key and had to, believe it or not, backtrack through the entirety of the Barrow Downs, which is kind of wild. But let me bring this over here and get my save loaded. Okay, so let's talk to this fellow here, who's sort of the gate warden. What's interesting is you can see he was a hobbit. There was a gate warden in the book. It was not a hobbit; it was a man. Now, Bree is an interesting place because it's a city. Well, not really a city. It's a town. It's very small, but it's a town in Arnor, which is part of Eridor, which has no sort of government. Has no sort of. There's no king in Arnor, and hasn't been for a long time. But there's no governor, there's no mayor, there's no sort of elected officials or anybody, nobody's in charge, and it just sort of works, and that has always worked for Bree. Towards the end of the book, The Lord of the Rings, Barlam Butterbur, the head of the Prancing Pony, was a little interested to hear that there is now a king in Arnor, not knowing that it was Aragorn, the man that he knew was Strider, and he was like, well, if he leaves Bree alone, and Gandalf was like, oh, he will, he's not going to bother you, But anyway, it's a community that is the first time in The Lord of the Rings that we're seeing going from a hobbit communities in the Shire to where there are men. But it is not only men in Bree. There are also many hobbits in Bree, and Tolkien described it as sort of a most excellent arrangement of men and hobbits living together. And considering that hobbits are an offshoot or a relation to the race of men, it makes sense that they would on occasion live together. So let's speak to him. This is just gatekeeper. There is danger near. I can't open the gate to let strangers into the city. So we have two objects that we can show him. Yeah, Mary died. Mary died before we even get to Rivendell. One of them is, I believe, the note from Gandalf. Here we are. Okay, he's not reacting to that. I still think we need to show him the note, but we might have to show him the key first. I see you have a key to the gate. You must be a friend of the city of Bree. I will let you in if you can prove you know somebody inside. So now here's where the note from Gandalf comes, and we don't. Gandalf's not inside, but this will get us in. So you are a friend of Gandalf's. Well then, I will have to let you in immediately. The door's open. Let's go. All right. So let's wander around and talk to some people here in Bree. It's a bit bigger than Hobbiton, but still a rather short area. Let's start over here, actually. Here's a hobbit lady. They seem to mostly be hobbits in the game. I think there are a few men, perhaps. I know Strider's here, obviously. This is Jane. Someone stole my jeweled ring. If you find it, I will give you a reward. So we'll have to bring that back to her at some point. Well, we won't have to, but it's something we can do. I think we might have to, actually. If we come over here, there's another hobbit. Armor Master. You look like warriors. For some gold, I will give you some better armor. Like I said, I'm only really concerned with Frodo. And Frodo already has chainmail, and I believe he upgrades all the hobbits to chainmail. And since I'm only concerned with Frodo, that's not really a concern of mine. Okay, let's come up here. This is Beth. They all appear to have mannish names, but they're the same size. I wonder if they are supposed to be men, and they didn't bother to make larger sprites. Because all the elves basically have the same sprite, or the variation of the same sprite. And, I have a letter that needs to go to Elrond in Rivendell. Aragorn is the only one I trust to take it to him. So we'll have to come back here once we have recruited Aragorn and get that letter to Elrond. What's interesting is the thought that there is some woman in Bree that is in correspondence with Elrond, which is certainly something that Tolkien never spoke about. But what's more interesting is that she says Aragorn, not Strider, because I believe Bree was where he got the name Strider, and I don't believe that they really knew him as Aragorn there. This is Sybil. You look tired. Eat this fruit. It will make you feel better. Okay, so I think she just gave me a fruit. I think if we leave and come back, she might give you another one, and then you would use it automatically. But that's a healing object. All right, let's come down this way and go over here. So here's an elf. Let's talk to him. And there's Strider, but he doesn't want to go near me. Jowanga. I can't imagine what the etymology of Jowanga is. It's certainly not an elvish name. I'm gonna Google Jowanga and see if there's ever been anybody named that. Somebody on Tumblr has that name, and I wonder if they got it from this video game. Yeah. And all the references that I'm seeing are referencing this video game, so I think it was a name that they made up. Okay. If you stay here too long, the ring wraiths will catch up to you. You should leave as soon as possible. There were no elves in Bree, so it's kind of interesting. Let's talk to Strider though, because he's the important guy here. I wonder if this rather large building is supposed to be the prancing pony. You can call me Strider. I spoke with Gandalf, and I might help you. But first, you must prove your worth to me by finding some king's foil. So what's interesting here is that we're meeting Aragorn outside of the building. We have to assume this is the Prancing Pony, although to me it always looked like a school or an office, or municipal building or something. But anyway, and he's saying, "Oh, I might help you." And in the book, Aragorn was actually rather insistent, and it was the hobbits who were a little leery of him at first. Particularly Sam was leery of him. He did prove who he was, and the letter from Gandalf helped that they got from Barlam and Butterbur. I do not believe that Barlam and Butterbur is a character in this game. We had a letter from him, but yeah. Now the King's Foil is interesting. It's known as Athelas Minor. It's an herb that can heal, and we're sort of, because this does skip over large swaths of the story, like we'd never get Weathertop, Aemon Hen is not a part of this game at all, and so therefore Frodo never gets stabbed by the Witch King, and he winds up eventually being healed by Elrond in Imladris, but it was Aragorn who sort of staved him off a little bit, like gave him made use of the Athelas Minor or Major, I forget what she does, the King's Foil. And the hobbits just thought of it as a weed, and they had to retrieve it for him. Frodo didn't have to. Frodo was sick. This wasn't in Bree, though. This was past Weathertop. So they're sort of putting in the idea of the hobbits retrieving the King's Foil for Aragorn, but in this sense, it's to get him to join you. I don't know what that is. It's Frodo. And then Pippin says, Athelas can be found growing by bodies of water. Now, why would Pippin really know that? It should be Strider telling us that. But, it's... I'm looking for the weapon guy, because I believe he'll give me troll daggers, which are actually better than the barrow daggers. Let's talk to this fellow here. This is Fergus Urquhart. So Fergus actually sounds like it could be a hobbit name. It's not hard to come up with hobbit names, but I feel like it would be Fergus and not Fergus like that. Urquhart is very, very British. Very, very British. So I think they were thinking... I could see that being a hobbit name, but it feels a little too English to me. If you go to the Trollshaws, you will find much treasure. So the Trollshaws are not a part of the Lord of the Rings, but like I said, it's a video game. They have to have levels and challenges for you to clear. There was the section near Rivendell where there were trolls in The Hobbit, and came across the stone trolls in the Lord of the Rings, but there was no such place as Trollshaws. I think this is the weapon guy here. You look like warriors. For some gold, I will give you some better daggers. So, yeah, we're actually gonna get a troll dagger. It's not that important, but we might as well use the money that I've collected for something. And, well, I don't know how much money he wants. We'll just select this one and see what he says. It will cost you more than that. Okay. He upgrades all of the hobbits' weapons. I believe he only takes like 45, though. Here you go, troll daggers for all the hobbits. Okay, and I have 21 left. Okay, let's talk to this fellow. John Galt. So that's... I don't think I need to tell you that there is no John Galt in the Lord of the Rings. There's a John Galt in Atlas Shrugged, and I think that's absolutely what the reference here is to the novel Atlas Shrugged by Ayn Rand. There's really not much correlation between Rand and Tolkien. There have been some followers of Rand who have tried to sort of co-opt the Lord of the Rings, but I could tell you that Tolkien would not have appreciated that. Hello, fellows. Have a nice day. Wow. He seems a lot more polite than the literary John Galt. And there's another gatekeeper. This gate hasn't been opened in years. I don't think it can be opened. So it's kind of interesting. There were 2 gates in Bree, obviously. Don't know. They did go out the opposite when they came in. I have no idea why there would be one that hasn't opened in years. What's the purpose of having a gate that can't open or hasn't opened in years? Is sort of strange. But anyway, we're going to come back out of Bree, and we're gonna go searching for some items. Did I talk to this fellow? The town elder. There was no town elder in Bree. Bree had no government, like I said. The book you found tells how to use the gateway gems. Give it to a wizard, and he will know what to do. Okay, obviously, we don't have a wizard handy just yet. One thing that's interesting in it, and the reason that I'm able to tell you that there were no government officials or any sort of government at all in Bree is Tolkien he said this in response to a proposed film treatment for The Lord of the Rings as an animated feature that he was reviewing in the 60s. Not in relation to the later Ralph Bakshi picture, but one of the things that he sort of struck out was when Frodo and the hobbits and everything arrived at the Prancing Pony, that they were asked to sign a registry, and Tolkien said it's ridiculous. They wouldn't be asked to sign a registry. They don't stand on any sort of ceremony in Bree. There's not even any sort of government or anything. It would just be, yeah, you need a room, here it is. No such thing as a registry in the Prancing Pony. So we're going to head back out to the crossroads, and believe it, this is actually where the ring wraiths were earlier. They don't appear in the game again, but if we were to go to the left, that would actually take us back to the Shire, which you could do if you need to go back there for some reason, like if you forgot a gem. Down, south there, is of course where we came from, the Barrow Downs. We're going to go to the east. And I'm going to try not to abuse the speed up feature too much. I was just mainly trying to get to Bree last time. It was running along. There's no objects to find here. We're just going to kind of go straight through. It's almost like a rose garden, like sort of hedge maze. Here's an orc. He's done. There's a wolf. Okay. I always thought this was a strange drawing of a tree growing out of a stone. It's like they wanted to do something different, even if it didn't make any sort of sense. Like, how does a tree grow from stone like that? That I don't quite understand. One thing that I'm unsure of is where that lady's necklace is. But the first thing we're going to want to do here is head down here. Alright, we have the Athelas, and we can get that back to Aragorn. But I believe we're actually going to want to head north from there, and I believe that might be where well, I'm trying to find out where that necklace is. There's a lot of objects in the Trollshaw's Cave to the north. And then there's another Trollshaw's Cave off to the east. Oh, it's actually the same cave. It just has different entrances. Okay. Well, the first thing that we should do is go recruit Aragorn. And then we'll actually be playing as him instead of Frodo. We'll have to keep Frodo alive, but considering that he is level 9... No, that's Sam's defense. There he is. He's level 10. Level 10's rather high at this point because I basically had him being the only one to really kill enemies, and he should be fine. He's got good armor. He's got good weapon. He should be fine on his own. Every once in a while, we'll have to check in on him and make sure that he's okay. We'll probably want to heal him when I get back to... Oh, I guess Sam just leveled up. When we get back to Bree, I'll talk to the lady with the fruit again and see if she'll give me another one. The other Tolkien-related game that I'd already played through on Twitch that I'd like to revisit on this channel would be actually the Hobbit. Definitely want to revisit that. That was actually very, very respective to the lore, other than, you know, all the action scenes and whatnot, and the levels that they had to create for the game. But they were actually, there was only a few points of contention there, really, with the lore in the Hobbit game, and that's why I was really wanting to also play the Fellowship of the Ring on PlayStation 2, because it's by the same people and supposedly follows the book very well. There's also an Xbox version, which I think is a little different, but I have no way of playing that, so let's talk to him. He just said, "Hello, fellas." Seems very strange for Aragorn to say that. So let's bring out the Atlas Minor, not Major. Okay. What was my... You have done well, my little hobbit friends. My real name is Aragorn, and I will lead your party to meet the Council of Elrond at Rivendell. When he talked about that, they didn't know that there was going to be a council until they arrived. When we're ready to leave Bree, I will meet you outside the city. Alright, let's get him now, because there's one of the ladies here that has an item, that the letter to Elrond. She'll only give it to Aragorn, so let's leave and come get him, and then we'll come back in. If I remember correctly, I think as soon as you step out, you're controlling him. I don't think you have to actually speak to him again. Yeah, see, now I'm Aragorn. His animation is a little different, but the speed of the strike is pretty much the same. This is parry, and we'll be controlling him for the rest of the game. And if we look at the portrait, it is based off of the film, the 1978 Lord of the Rings. You can see there, he appears sort of like almost vaguely Native American. He does start at level 15. He's got a light sword and chainmail, so he's a big upgrade in terms of power after having Frodo as our character for so long. So let's talk to that woman. I think she was over here. I see Aragorn has joined you. This letter is for Elrond. It is extremely important. Please take it to him. Okay. And I wanted to talk to the lady with the fruit and see if she'll heal me. Nope. Okay. You only get the one. That's okay. We'll be picking up stuff along the way. Now let me just look at... I just want to study this map briefly to make sure that I'm getting this right. So if we go north, it's going to bring us into that area. And then we can sort of go two different areas. Okay. So we'll want to go to probably to the left first. Okay. And if we go to this one instead, to the east. And that could lead to this. Oh, that's to Rivendell. Alright, but we don't want to go to Rivendell just yet. It does make sense, Rivendell is to the east, but we're going to head to the north. And that is the way it happened. Aragorn did bring them to the north, into the wilds, instead of taking the road straight east to Rivendell, although we are going to wind up taking that road. We're going to go north first. We're going to have to pick up Legolas along the way, which, well, I'll talk more about that when we meet him. It's sort of an interesting take on that. This is ostensibly based off of the book, not any of the films. Even though it appears to, you know, visually resemble the Ralph Bakshi film, It has elements that were not in any adaptation, film adaptation at least, such as Gildor and Glorian being present. That's he was not in the film, so yeah. So I mentioned this last time, but you want to keep an eye on the strength and defense. Mostly strength is at 23. You don't want it to go above 99, or it'll underflow. Actually, I need to go this way, I think. No, incorrect. And then Aragorn will become very weak. So there are certain weapons that we really will not want to pick up due to that. I will probably save and then pick them up just to see what they are and talk about them. Because a few of them are named swords from The Lord of the Rings, So we're going to head to the north here. We weren't able to before because only Aragorn can go up there. You can head to the east without him, I believe, but there's not much point to it. This fellow here will not let you through without Aragorn. This is the door to the troll shows. Legolas the elf has the key, but he has locked himself in. Oh, okay, so we have to go, like, around through the cave to get into there. That's what the deal is. Okay. Got it. Alright, so let's work on getting that door open. First, we're going to go this way. Into another area here. Now, if we continue to the east from here, we'll eventually just get to Rivendell, but we're going to need the objects like the, amulets and gems and such, so we need to get into these caves, and we need to get that door open to make a shortcut. So first thing, we're going to double back to get that item I just saw. Hey, Frodo. Hey, Sam. Alright. Hopefully that healed Frodo all the way. But if we go to the northwesternmost bit here, there should be an entrance to the cave, the Troll Shaw's cave. There we go. I knew you had to hit it open, but I was slightly off there. This is a rather large dungeon, but it's not overly complex. So we're sort of in the central southern... Actually, we're not. We're in the sort of the southwesternmost portion here. And we're going to want to make our way up to... all the way up to the very northeasternmost portion. But along the way, we'll be collecting lots of items. I'm not sure if the snakes here are poisonous. They did mention that they were poisonous in the... in the Barrow Downs, but I'm not sure about here. So first let's go to the left here and see what we have here. So here we have our first blue orc. They're a little stronger than the green ones. A sword. So that gets rid of the light sword. So if we look at Aragorn's stats here, we can see his strength has gone up to 31. We will want to monitor the stats, especially when they get high. To make sure that it doesn't get too high, because then it will become very low. There's some moss. I might as well make use of that. Like I said, I don't know if the snakes are still poisonous or not, but it's probably best to not take any chances. Now this is an incorrect way to go, but I'm just going to nip over here really quickly because there should be an item. That's just a mushroom. Okay. Let's head this way. What's interesting is that Aragorn doesn't have his broken sword with him, you know? That's okay. So let's head down here. There should be a dead end with an item. And here it is. It's armor. So that's some chain armor. That's for, it says mail. Instead of mail, it says armor, so that's how you know it's Aragorn. So that upgrades his leather to a chain armor, and we can see his... Well, no, that says chain mail. Maybe that's a translation issue there. Oh, Pippin's the one wearing armor, but it says leather. That's strange. That's very, very strange. Well, yeah, I don't quite understand that it says armor. And, yeah. It's a little odd. So we're gonna go this way. Eventually, we're gonna see a path there. Well, we might as well do this for now because there's a few items up there. This is sort of the western section here. Starting with, there should be something up in this direction. It's a bog standard green orc, or I think since orcs are also called goblins, you might say that's the green goblin there. Oh, I'm not seeing it. It might be actually on the other side of the thing. And the little icon is... I misread. That's okay. There are things up here. Because of the insistence on referring to them almost exclusively as goblins in The Hobbit, I did read a passage last time where Gandalf referred to orcs, hobgoblins, and goblins. They're really all the same thing, but that was in The Hobbit, and then in The Lord of the Rings, you rarely hear goblin. You more often hear orc. A lot of people have come to the conclusion, the incorrect conclusion, that they're two different things. And that has been an issue that I've been sort of dealing with on Quora and in the Tolkien community, of people not understanding that orcs and goblins, it's just two different languages. Orc is derived from uruk, which means goblin. And if you need any form of proof at all, it's in the fact that Thorin's sword from The Hobbit is called Orcrist. Oh, here's a troll. And we learn that from Elrond that Orcrist translates to goblin cleaver. So orc translates to goblin. Crist is to cleave. Here we go. So that's another amulet. How many of those do I have? Because I believe we need 6 total. So we have 4 so far, so that means that there's 2 left to find. I'd rather it stay on Aragorn. Okay. Our troll friend is back already. The animations of the trolls attacking is so slow, you could usually just get out of the way. They do a lot of damage, though, so you gotta be careful. I did get hit there, and you see you took off a nice, healthy chunk of my health. You could just leave the hut up, but I feel it gets in the way. It sort of ruins the mood, too. And you have to sort of stick by whatever fun you can get with this game. So let's go up here. I think there's moss. Yeah, judging by where the icon is. That helped a bit. Okay. And if we go down and to the left, there should be something else. There's another blue one. There's also red ones and I believe gray ones later on. So chain armor, don't need leather armor, but it's so strange because when Pippin was wearing leather armor, but it doesn't say chain armor, it says chain mail. I think there was a bit of an indexing snafu there. Alright, so that's all the items in this area. We're going to head back to the main path. Right now, the trolls are definitely the most dangerous enemy that we could run into. The blue goblins they're worse than the green ones, but they're not quite as dangerous as the trolls. The trolls do a lot of damage. I believe we can grab the moss on the way out here as well. Well, Aragorn's filled. We'll want to, like I said, occasionally check on Frodo, but he should be, for the most part, fine. Okay. It always seemed odd that there was no way to revive characters, and that they were just permanently dead, you know? It seems very, very antithetical. So we're back on the main path to the Lord of the Rings. If we go down here, this is a straight shot dead end that should lead to an object as well. Another troll. Oh, I'm taking a beating. Alright, well, at least none of the hobbits got smashed up. You time it right, stun lock them pretty well. It's another weapon. It's a troll dagger, so we don't need that, actually. Everybody has troll daggers. It's an interesting thought that there's something called a troll dagger and that it's considered better than the... I got smashed up there. Better than the barrow daggers that are so powerful in The Lord of the Rings. Alright, so we're going to go this way, into the next area. Should be something right up here. Okay, yeah, that mushroom's a help. I'm still pretty beat up, but... Okay. Some armor there. It's like Pippin's gazing at it. Chain armor that we actually do not need. There's no reason to go south of here. That's all a dead end. We're just going to make our way to the east. Blue goblin. He doesn't seem all that interested. Here we go. Yeah. Okay, so let me just quickly study the map here and see which direction I want to go first. I think, to the left first, yeah. We'll go to the west until we can go north. I'm a little worried about, I don't know where Frodo is, but I think we'll be switching screens soon, which will make the party members gather around. Yeah, here we are. Okay, so here, we're just gonna go up this way. Alright, so up here there's something. That's a fern. That's a bit of a help. And if we go down, the object, I thought it was on the other side of the thing. They're very close together. There should be something down here. Somebody leveled up. Chain armor that we absolutely don't need. Okay. Is that another reason to just completely skip the idea of upgrading at Bree, the armor. Watch the snake. So just backtrack a bit. Actually, I might want to... Yeah, I might want to back up a bit and come back here. It looks like I probably should have done the other way first, so let me... head back in that direction. Like I said, the maps are very... The image is small, so it's kind of hard to read. Okay, so I believe we will want to go down here. Am I right on that? Yeah, this is where I came from. Alright. I think so. I'm a little discombobulated. Okay, no, I know where I am, I think. Yeah. We want to continue to the right, then. I mistakenly thought that that goes to, like, where we need to go. Oh, that was actually Aragorn leveling up here. So here, well, let's start by going up here, because I think there's some moss. Yeah. That helps a great deal. And I don't think there's any, yeah, there's nothing up there. We're gonna head this way. And we're gonna head down here, because there's a few things to get down in this direction. Bats are kind of dogging me right now. Another troll. I took a hit, but it's not so bad. That's an item. A troll dagger that we absolutely don't need, but there's still another object to go in this direction. This is a dead end, but there is something to get. Oh, a troll. No, don't go for Frodo. Let me check his health. I don't think he got hit, but I want to make sure he's alright. Okay, he's at full health. He's good to go. Here we are. Oh, that's an amulet. Okay. So I believe we only need one more. There are 6 amulets. We should only need one more. Yep, there's only one empty spot where the amulets would be. It would be interesting if the amulets had some sort of design that was significant, like the different houses of the elves or something. You might have, like, you know, a Star of Feanor, a Star of Earendil, Star of Finrod, you know, such as that, but that's not the case. Well, they didn't have the rights to any of the Silmarillion materials, so. But they could have made it up. Well, we don't need that. Alright, leave Sam alone. There's a certain timing to fighting the trolls, and I think I've got it pretty down. Alright, so now I'm going to head back to the main path and go to the right on that right or left decision. We already did on the left. Now we're going to do the right. And that'll bring us up towards that northeasternmost portion that I was talking about earlier. Oh, I had moved a little. Pippin took a schmack. Oh, this isn't correct, but I guess grab that. Yeah, I'd gone too far to the west. I need to go further north. It isn't the greatest design game where, like, everything sort of looks the same. You start to see the same cave designs over and over again, and even overworld designs over and over again, and it could really mess you up, and you could really get lost. I got a little lost in even with a map of the Barrow Downs last time. So yeah, that just goes to show that you can't rely wholly on that. Okay, so we're going to want to go this way until we can go north. And then up at the top here, we're faced with the left or right. We've done the left. We're going to go ahead and do the right. Okay, now as soon as I get the opportunity to go south, there's an item there to get. Got it. Okay. Deal with that orc. There's a... Oh, 2 blue orcs. The main thing is just make sure they don't hit Frodo. I think he might have taken a little damage there. Let's see. He's fine. He took a little bit of damage, but he's pretty tough at this point. What's another sword? Named sword. So that's obviously better than the regular sword that I had. So let's see which named sword we have, though. It just says named sword. They don't give you the name. It's not a named sword if it doesn't have a name. Maybe maybe it's Named, right? There are, of course, several named swords in the Lord of the Rings. We know, of course, of Glamdring and Narsil, which becomes Anduril. Orcrist was in the Hobbit. So there are plenty of named swords. It's just kind of wild that in the game it just says that this is a named sword, but we're not gonna tell you what the name is. It's strange. Alright, as soon as I can head north, which is right here, there's another item to get. Well, that's a fern. That's pretty good healing right there. So we're sort of in the northern section now. We're just going to want to go to the a little bit further to the north and as far to the east as we can. So there is something down here though that we want to see what that is. Well, I should check his strength stat though. I mean, I don't think it's until you're in Moria that you really have to worry about that too much, but it's a good thing to monitor since we have a namesake. See, it's up to 48 now. So he's half as strong as he possibly could be. We're probably not going to get it at 99, you know, but... Alright, another troll. Oh, no. I felt like Frodo was in front of me for much of that, so I'm going to check on him. He's a little damaged, but he should be fine. Oh, no. He went right past me. I think Frodo did all the hitting there. I found a scroll. It says something about the gateway gems. I'd better save it for Gandalf. Okay. That's an important item to get. Yeah, Frodo keeps getting very aggressive here. So we're going to head off to the east, like I said, because our object is to get northeast. There should be something up here. That's a little bit of healing. Very good. And if we make our way to the southeast portion of this room, there should be another object to get. That's another troll. Oh boy. Got him. And that's a level up for Aragorn. So once again, since he leveled up, that should raise his stats a bit. So you can see his strength is at 49. It only went up 1 tick. That's fine. And there should be something over this direction. Oh, another troll. And he's near Frodo, so I gotta be careful. So many trolls. I mean, it's called the Troll Shaws, so it's a dagger. Okay. It's a troll dagger that we absolutely don't need. As I said, the money's pretty useless. I did upgrade everybody to troll daggers in terms of the hobbits, but I don't think you get run into money at all past Bree once you're out of the. Even in Bree, I mean, once you're out of the Barrow Downs. So we're gonna go up this way. We're pretty much as far east as we can go, so we're just gonna want to make our way north now. And I know it looked like I can go east further there, but that's just an empty room. So we're gonna go this way till we can go north. And then we're gonna make make our way a bit more west, and then a bit more north, and then all the way east. So here's where we're going west. Thank you, Sam. Like I've done it, Mr. Frodo. I've slain an orc. Good job, Sam. Alright. Should be something. Oh, snake. Almost didn't react to that. Another mushroom? Okay. So I'm about half health for Aragorn here. That's like, he's got a lot of health. And judging where the next icon is, it's probably moss. Because it's off to the side on the path going north. That's, yeah, moss always seems to appear like that. The moss seems to heal you much better than some other things. So we go all the way to north here, and we'll have a choice between east and west. We'll nip to the west to get an object, and then we'll start working our way east and out of here. Imagine trying to play this without a map. I mean, they gave you maps that came with the game of everything, so, you know, they knew people were going to get lost. Even with the maps, it's difficult to read them sometimes. It's too bad that they weren't done by Christopher Tolkien, as Christopher and of course his father had created some very amazing maps. I actually really like maps, and I think that, you know, Tolkien spurned my affinity for maps. I found a scroll that says something about the gateway gems. Alright, so that's the same as the other thing. I don't know if it's the same exact scroll or if I have two different ones. Sometimes there's redundant items. There's a color scroll and a keystone scroll, so it does show that there's two separate scrolls, and we probably needed to get them both, so. Start making our way east. There's a few more items to get that are off the beaten path, but it's nothing too big in terms of travel time. He just went right through my sword and me and everything. It's like, I don't care about you. I'm going for Frodo. Which just does make some sense. Alright, so the first offshoot path is to the south. We're going to go that way and get whatever it is at the end there. It is best if you can avoid the snakes, the ones on the left side. It's a fern. It's best to try to not even deal with them. Just pick one side to deal with the snakes and the other side to just walk past. Alright, back to the main path. There should be a path to the north that we're going to take towards another object. There we go. Might as well, right? There we are. The blue guys are dying just as fast as the green ones were now, so. That's a jeweled ring. So that's the ring from the lady in Bree. We'll have to make sure to bring that back to her. So the next path to the south is actually where we want to go. That's Leaves. But before we do that, we're going to head this way, a little further to the east, because there's a path with an item here. Took a laugh. And here's the last item, and it's the last amulet, so we now have all of the amulets. Oof. still missing a gateway gem, though? It looks like I am. Okay, well, we'll get it when we get it. I hope I haven't passed it by at some point, but... Backtrack back to the main path and we'll get out of this cave. Okay, so the first thing we're going to want to do here is, we're going to want to go to, I believe, the left, actually. Well, I don't know. Actually, let's try the right, because sometimes objects don't appear until you're told that you need them. And I want to make sure... Well, I'll see if it's there, I guess. But we're in the area just north of where the locked door was. So the item that we're going to need to bring to Legolas is here. Now, it's interesting, running into Legolas, shortly before Rivendell, is obviously that wasn't in the book. He was first met in Rivendell. He was coming to Imladris specifically to bring news from Mirkwood that Gollum had escaped their custody. So, and then he wound up joining the Fellowship. And in the Ralph Bakshi film, this is ostensibly based off of the movie, but it takes some cues from the Ralph Bakshi film. Every major version of The Lord of the Rings has had the party meet an elf before coming to Rivendell. In the book, it was actually Glorfindel. In the Ralph Bakshi film, they changed Glorfindel to Legolas, and then in the Peter Jackson film, they made it Oberyn. So there's, the bow's there. We need to bring Legolas's bow, and then he'll join us. Legolas is completely useless. He serves less than zero purpose, but we're going to do it anyway. So the fact that this game has you meet and join up with Legolas prior to Rivendell, it shows that it is an interesting hybrid of the book and the Ralph Bakshi film, because they're definitely doing things that were not in the Ralph Bakshi film, such as Gildor being present and Tom Bombadil and Old Man Willow being present, that are exclusive to the novel, to the Lord of the Rings. But I need to drink some water. I'm very parched. Hold on. But what you see with Legolas is, he has to join at some point, but it's just interesting that they sort of have the visuals from the Ralph Bakshi film, and that they have him like that. And I wonder if that was specifically a Ralph Bakshi influence. If you haven't seen the Ralph Bakshi film, I can tentatively recommend it. It's not a particularly finished product. It's definitely unfinished. It does not complete the entire story of The Lord of the Rings, and they never got to make the second half. It's up. Rankin Bass made The Return of the King, but there was still the second half of The Two Towers that didn't get adapted. But the reason I bring it up is because it's confusing if you go into the movie and you haven't read The Lord of the Rings. It can be incredibly confusing. But if you have, it's interesting, and it's certainly a showcase of some pretty spectacular animation. Alright, so we're going to make our way to the northwest section, where Legolas is. This is the rotoscoped animation. And it actually is quite a good adaptation in the start. It's just that everything after Rivendell is sort of very clipped. There's some parts of it that are clipped before that, but it definitely rushes through everything. So here's Legolas. Thank you, let's go to Rivendell. I have the key to the Trollshaw's Gate, so we won't need to go through the caves. Alright. So we have Legolas, and you see that his design is from the film there, where he just looks incredibly happy. I think that shot is from when Aragorn and Legolas met each other, and they were like, Legolas, Aragorn, and they hugged each other, And you can see that what's interesting here is he has a health statistic. He has a weapon, an armor, and strength and defense, but he doesn't actually do anything. And even if I were to hold down the right button, to control everybody and I press attack, notice that Pippin is attacking, but Legolas is not. And if I hit parry, he doesn't do anything. He's completely incapable of defending himself. He's useless. So we won't have to go through the Trollshaw's cave again, and we did get all of the items there. So we're gonna head back in this direction. Frodo and Sam are just like, you guys go on ahead. You guys go on ahead. You don't need us. Oh, hold on 1 second. I'm getting my next map ready that I'm going to need. Okay, there. All right. So we're gonna head to the south here, and that should bring me back to like where we can get to Bree quickly, and we can bring that one woman her jeweled ring, and then we'll head to Rivendell, which is not a very long trek now. The Trollshaw's cave is done. I'll open this gate. The door's open. Let's go. Okay. See, the fellow that was here is not here anymore. He must have gone home. Or perhaps the wargs got him. But let's head back to Bree. Wait, they were all following me. I almost made it seem like there's some semblance of competence in the programming here. But now they've scattered as they usually do. They are supposed to follow you for the most part, but yeah, the AI is quite poor. Now, I forget exactly where she is, but I want to say somewhere in the lower right-hand corner. Oh, this is her. Look at that. Not even the corner, right by the entrance. So we just have to bring out the ring. Not the ring, but the jeweled ring, not to be confused with the One Ring. If we gave her that by mistake, that would be a problem. Thank you for finding my ring. I will give you the stone I found. The elders call it a keystone. I don't know what it is used for, but I know it is very valuable. So I believe that at this point we... that might be the gem. Well, that's the gateway keystone. Alright, so that's the last one. So we have the colored ones, and we have the gateway keystone. So that's handy. So we don't have to worry about that anymore. Alright, let's head to Rivendell. So even though there's some reality to heading to the north into the wilds, not necessarily going through troll caves, but heading to the north to escape from going through the very traveled road that goes straight east out of Bree and goes right by Rivendell. Rivendell's not as out of the way as one might think, but we wind up just going to the east anyway. So... Wait, I think I have to go up above this. Yep. Oh, really? Looks like Sam might have got him there. Sometimes it can be difficult to determine which character is actually doing the hitting. Because, like I said, it really only... if everybody stabs at the same time, it really only registers one hit, you know, at a time. Across this bridge. Yeah, so no Aemon Hen, no Ford of Bruinen, no more Nazgul, just go straight to Rivendell. Yeah, it's just the way it is. We've already been in this screen, so we don't need to do anything other than go to the right. Just slightly... Oh, I guess I can get that to give myself a little more healing, because I believe that was a mushroom. But, right past, to the south of where the Trollshaw's cave entrance is where we can continue further along. See, they could see Frodo and Pippin can tell that I'm walking to the left, and now they're just completely confused. Somebody's getting hit. Just hope it isn't Frodo, that's all. So there's the Troll Shaw's Cave. Which is you'd have to know to hit it with your sword, the rock, you know. Notice that there wasn't like a character that told us that, you know. So this is a big empty area. We're just gonna head to the southeast to continue along. There's nothing here. I don't believe there's even any enemies, as you can see. Oh, there's a wolf. It's yet another river. A lot of rivers. So we're nearly there. This is the last screen before Rivendell, I believe, and there's just only one item to grab, and it's probably nothing important because we've gotten everything important. But let's. I want to look at Aragorn's stats since he just leveled up. Strength's at 50. Okay. That's another mushroom. Okay. I said have my hand on the controller there. Oh, come on. Come on. I probably could have ignored that snake, to be honest. That was another one there. I'm gonna ignore that one. I never understood the trees growing out of... So here's some guy that looks suspiciously like Sam's dad, the gatekeeper. The forces of Mordor are near. I can't let anyone into Rivendell unless they're on official business. So I guess I could show him... there's no gatekeeper to Rivendell, by the way. It's sort of a ridiculous concept. The letter to Elrond? Maybe? There. I see you need to meet with Elrond. I'll take the letter and give it to him. You may enter and speak with him. So, I mean, if there was, in fact, a gate warden to Rivendell, it would make sense for it to be an elf, not a... I mean, as far as as far as the gate would be, the Ford of Ruin, and it would be an elf, not a hobbit. But anyway, since we've reached Rivendell, we're going to stop here, and I think we'll probably do 2 more parts. One where we get to Moria, and the second where we go through Moria. That one might be long, but we'll see you guys next time with more of J.R.R. Tolkien's The Lord of the Rings, Volume 1 on the Super NES.